Sunday Night Quarterback is sponsored by Midwest Bank Center.
So the first question is your health. Oftentimes after an injury, it's even worse the next day. How are you feeling today?
I definitely got up a little slow today. But with some of the stuff we did last night to get ahead on it, and then immediately just getting after it this morning, it's in a pretty good spot heading into the week. So, we're definitely optimistic.
How many texts and which one meant the most to you? You got a great story about one of these texts?
A lot of text. One surprising text that I got was actually from Peyton Manning. He texted me last night. He said, "What a gutsy performance. Great job. Keep it up." That was one that stuck out. I wasn't expecting a text from Peyton. And then, really just the countless texts from family, friends, people back home, people in Columbia that I know. And, it's always fun to take those moments in when they happen.
All right, let's take it step by step. After the injury, you go where next?
So, as soon as I see Drew trotting on, I know, we got to go figure something out. It's not good. It's not going to work. And we head right into the tunnel, and immediately we get an X-ray. They do a stress test on my ankle, and we kind of figure out what's going on. And obviously needed an MRI at the hospital, so we transport to the hospital, and we're there for 35-40 minutes. And MRIs are, you can't bring your phone in there. There's no electronics. It's just you and yourself staring at the ceiling for 35 minutes. So I definitely did not see that coming at 12 o'clock on Saturday of homecoming. So, what a story there. And then, we come back, and ultimately the doctors knew that, if we could find a way to get out there and play and, haven't feel good enough to do what I need to do to win the game, they would allow it. And after, countless different things, trying different things, even calling it at one point and saying, hey, we should probably just, get in street clothes and go lead the team from the sideline. I think that's our best bet. And, it was crazy. And as soon as I knew I could do it, I ran back out, and man, that's it.
Did you go to a practice field after the hospital and before you came back to the stadium to try it out?
So there was a little confusion there. We have a turf area in our weight room, which is right by our locker room. It's in the south end zone facility. I know some people thought that I was going to the indoor facility, but I was not in the indoor. I was just on the little practice turf area in our weight room. That's where we were kind of testing everything out, seeing if I could move, seeing if I could hand off, drop back, all that.
How about when you're driving to the hospital and you're in a truck? Did fans say, wait a minute, what is Brady Cook doing in the middle of a game in a truck?
Yeah. That was an interesting experience. We had to get to the MRI somehow at the hospital. We actually hopped in our head athletic trainer's truck, Zach, and I was sitting passenger. And we were driving through Columbia. We drove through all of the parking lots where people are still out there tailgating, whether they're just watching the game out there on the TV or whatnot. And, I'm accidentally making eye contact through the window with these fans that, some of them had my jersey on. And, I look in the rear view, and everybody's pointing and saying, what's going on. I can just see the confusion on their faces. So, sorry, Mizzou fans, for confusing you guys there.
So you hit the sideline, and your conversation with Coach Drink goes like what?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. I was so juiced up. I'm trying to remember exactly what he said, but he came up to me and said something to the nature of, do you have any limitations? And I said, no limitations. Let's go. And he looked back at me and said, let's go win this thing.
And you come out firing. You knew you weren't going to come out and hand the ball off. The 78-yarder to Mookie Cooper. Describe it.
Yeah, it was a third down and long situation. And, on this specific play, it's a play we installed this year, repped in the spring, repped in fall camp, and we've repped a few times this year. And we have not thrown that dig route to Mookie. He's the fourth read on the play. And we don't have one banked rep of this play to Mookie. And for some reason, I knew the safety would carry with Luther for just enough time. And I knew I had good protection. And, I saw him breaking on the in cut. And, I knew it was going to be a tight window, but he made a heck of a catch. And just the run after the catch. I mean, he looked fast. He was cutting all the way across the field. I wish he would have gotten in, but heck of a play. He set up that touchdown.
Final drive, 17 plays, 95 yards, longest of the season. Let's go through a couple of the key moments. First of all, the scramble out of the end zone.
Yeah, scramble out of the end zone. I was moving right. I felt pretty confident at that point in my legs. Whether it was adrenaline, I was confident. I felt fast, and I knew I needed my legs to take us down, on this drive. And, I put a little stutter move on number 35, and that was definitely a big play there.
Then on the 3rd and 7 run, that was also big.
Yeah. So I did know that scrambling to the left was going to be a little harder, but spinning out of that helped. And then, whenever I got going, I think I actually they said I hit 19.81 miles per hour, which is the fastest I've hit this season. Which is interesting. That just goes to show you, your body can do unbelievable things if you push it, and if the moment's right. So that was a fun play, and shout out to Theo for blocking that corner downfield for me.
The 3rd and 18 to Luther.
Yep, 3rd and 18 to Luther. This was I'm giving you all the secrets here, but this was actually the same play that we connected to Mookie on for the 78-yard play. Except the ball did go to Luther this time. And, great play. He ran a great route, put a move on the safety, totally crossed him up over the middle of the field. And that was big to set up that 4th down.
And I think your best throw of the day was the 4th and 5 to Luther, where you just had to loft it over the defender right into his hands.
Yeah, it was 4th and 5. And this is just one of those plays, everybody's looking at each other, and we all know, the game is on the line here. And we executed. They brought a cover 0 look, so pretty much everybody's coming, and it's man coverage in behind, no deep safeties. So, I slid the protection left. So it was a full slide protection left. I knew I needed to drop extra, probably 5-6 yards, and drift left, and make sure they didn't bring the blitz home. And Luther ran a great route, turned the DB's hips, and I knew I just needed to put a little touch on it, put a little air on it, and let him run to it, and he did just that.
You were gone for almost 2 hours. I don't think you had your phone, and they don't have TVs in a hospital. So how'd you keep up?
The updates were definitely minimal. I tried my best. I was asking different people. I was looking at my trainer's phone at one point, walking through the hospital. But yeah, I did not know much about the game. Whenever I came back, I didn't know about some of the key plays that have happened. And I think, watching it this morning, I think I still uncovered some stuff I didn't know.
And then the emotion after the game. You heard about Coach Drink nearly breaking down. I think part of it is because he knows of some of the negativity you've received. But what did that mean when you saw your coach break down and talking about you?
Yeah, I mean, it means a ton. Me and Coach Drink have been through a ton together. We really have. This is our 5th year together. Highs, lows, the roller coasters of college football, the wins, the losses. The criticism, the love, we've been through it. And this was just another one of those moments, one of those moments of, why you play college football, why we play at Mizzou, why we love Mizzou. And it was just super, super special to share that with him.
And then your emotion after the game, when you were discussing your family, you were pretty moved by everything because you know what you and your family have been through. And then to have this moment.
Yeah, there's just so much that goes into it. This is a 24/7 deal, and these moments are rare. And we definitely didn't see yesterday going how it did. But at the end of the day, it was a special day, and I don't think we'd change it for anything. And going over to see my parents and see my family, it's definitely hard to keep it together because they're right there with me. They support me every step of the way, and they wouldn't miss a game. No matter what, and it means the world to me.
Can we talk medication and how you got better so fast?
There's, I'll put it this way. I've played through injury before. Shoulders, knee, different things, and I've become accustomed to different ways to get back out on the field. And I'd say this, we exhausted every last option, and the final thing we did at about 2 hours into the process, immediately, I was like, let's go, let's do this thing. Taped back up, spat it over the cleat, and ran directly on the field, and wouldn't have it any other way. 2 hours right there.
Now, you may get married and you may have 3 kids, but I think Saturday is going to remain a top 5 moment in the history of your life.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. It's just one of those days I'm just not going to forget. The highest of highs at the end of that game, looking at the stadium, looking at my teammates, coaches, lows of lows, sitting in the MRI tube, staring at the ceiling for 35 minutes in my own thoughts, wondering what this means for not only this game, but my career, the rest of the season. And it's just one of those days that came together. And, I trusted it. I never lost hope. And man, I'm just grateful it ended how it did.
So what'd you do after the game besides getting treatment?
So after the game, yeah, we checked out my ankle pretty good, and made sure we did what we need to do there. I had a press conference, obviously, and then I really just hung out with my family. We went over to Papo's Pizza. It's a good spot. They always have a table for us, and shared an hour there with my family, just talking about the game, eating, debriefing from everything. And then after that, I don't think I moved from my couch the entire night.
And now you have to get ready for Alabama at Alabama. Your thoughts on that daunting task?
Daunting task, but it's going to be a fun one. I mean, this is the game. This is one of the games I've had circled, that's for sure. Going to be an awesome atmosphere, big time game, and we're looking forward to it.
One more thing. So Peyton writes what to you, and then you write what to him back.
Yeah, Peyton texted me last night and said, what a gutsy performance. Great job. Keep it rolling. And I said, thanks. I appreciate you. Looking forward to next week. And, just a little text like that definitely means a lot.